Hey everyone, I'm sure I look a complete fucking mess right now. It's about 5 in the morning and I haven't slept, so you're gonna have to bear with me, I think. Yeah, this one's gonna be a little aimless, but it's just kind of a generalized update thing. Gonna talk about weight stuff, but also like a lot of other life things as well. So, um, big news. I've mentioned lately that I've been kind of between jobs, as they say, which is euphemistic for my last job ended. Um, I wasn't fired. I was in there on a temp contract, and my contract ran up. And usually they would buy out your contract, but apparently my agency was like asking a lot for the contract, and they just decided not to buy my contract. And I wish they had told me this beforehand, so I would have just applied. But by the time I knew that this was happening, because I had just been assuming that they would take the contract. So I was like, okay, cool, I don't need to do anything. And then come to find out that they're not, um, and they had already replaced me. So um, they told me that they would recommend me for another position in the company if I applied. Um, so I did apply for that other position, and I called back the manager guy from the warehouse. He's like, okay, cool, I'll talk to the hiring department and like tell them to look for your application or whatever. And I got turned down for that position. So all the guys that I knew from the warehouse that I still talk to are like, that's such bullshit, man. And I'm just like, I'm telling you, like, I feel like they just didn't like me because, all of this. I didn't really fit in very well in the warehouse environment, as you might imagine, but um, oh well, life goes on. So, yeah, completely different company I applied to recently, um, a few weeks ago, really. See, the thing is, the only kind of jobs I've had before are, what should we say, more entry level. The kind of shit you would get if you're like still in high school, basically. That's the only kind of work I've ever had, to be honest. So a lot of those places straight up don't really run a background check on you, or like they do weeks or months after you started working already. So I'm used to like you apply somewhere and then you just straight up you start there like immediately. As long as they aren't going to straight up reject you, like you're going to be working soon. So the thing is, I applied to this place and like it was at least 2 weeks, if not longer, before like they I can't remember exactly what happened. I applied, I heard back relatively fast, but after it was like a second interview, but it was also kind of like a facility tour sort of. And of course they did the drug test and the background check started that day, and it took a while. And like I said, I'm not used to that. So I was starting to think like, fuck, I'm gonna get turned down for this job too. Like I wonder what happened that they didn't want me for it, because like as much as I probably seem high right now, I'm gonna be real with you, I'm not really a stoner. So I knew my piss test was gonna come up clean. I especially don't do anything like fucking crack or heroin or whatever. So I knew my piss test was gonna come up clean. I don't have a record or anything, so I knew my background check was gonna come up clean. So I was just waiting and waiting and waiting and like slowly getting more and more anxious, like what the fuck? Like, did they talk to somebody at the warehouse and like somebody at the warehouse was like, don't hire that guy, he's a fucking queer or some shit. Like, what happened? But no, nothing of the sort. Apparently it just took a while because I got a call yesterday, technically now, since it's like almost 5 in the morning. Yesterday I got a call telling me that orientation for me is next week. Um, so fuck yeah, I got the job. I'm gonna be back to work, which is such a relief. Holy shit. Um, honestly, like, let's be real. I'm 27. I live with my parents. I don't even own my own car. I have no education beyond high school, which I did at least graduate high school. So hooray for me, doing the bare fucking minimum. I don't have a criminal record, and I'm not in a lot of debt from like getting a liberal arts degree that I can't use or something. Those are the only things I have going for me. And yeah, I have all those other things. Like I said, like living with my parents at fucking 27 is super fucking embarrassing, and I just feel like a loser and a failure, to be honest. And like maybe I shouldn't feel that way because I know if I had friends that were in my same position, which I probably do, and it's just I'm not thinking of them off the top of my head. Or it might just be that they're kind of in and out of that position. But if I were talking to a friend and they were telling me all the same shit right now, I wouldn't tell them that they're a fuck up or a loser or whatever, and I would tell them they had time to get their shit together. But when it comes to me myself, I feel like I've just like already ruined my life at this point, and I worry sometimes that like I don't know if I have necessarily enough time to like catch up, because like of course I have time to, if I wanted to go back to school or something, I could do that, and I could get a better paying job or whatever. But like I'm already 27 and I have no retirement savings or anything like that. Um, so I figure I'm probably never going to retire unless I do like go to a trade school and start working in a trade and like get something fairly lucrative there. I do know I'm not gonna have kids, so I'm not gonna have to worry about like the expense of raising kids or anything. Um, but I don't know if that's really gonna be enough to compensate for the fact that to this day I haven't really saved up a fucking dime as far as like really long term shit goes, and that's gonna be a problem for me later on down the road. I'm positive. Um, the thing is, I really want to move out. Like that's my most immediate goal. Well, I need to buy my car off my parents first. It's an older car of theirs. They don't use it anymore, so I've just been driving it. But I really need to like officially buy it from them because, of course, they're gonna let me have it for a smaller price than actually buying it used, which is good because it's a good car. But I'm broke, um, so I need to do that, and then I want to move out. And the thing is, like, things are going on with my ex that we might move in together, we might not. I really can't tell if she's on board or not because she says she is. And I really want to believe her, but I also know that, like, there's more going on behind the scenes that I can't really talk about, like, for the sake of privacy. But, like, there's shit going on that makes me wonder if, like, how serious about that she is, and like if she might change her mind kind of at the last minute, or if she's like letting me think that it's going to go that way because like she's just too nice to like straight up, she doesn't like to tell people no. She wants to try to make everybody happy, and generally I love that about her, but at the same time like this is one of those things where I would rather be rejected outright than to like be allowed to believe that something is going to happen when it's not. But I don't know. I would like to think that she realizes that and wouldn't do that. But at the same time, I'm a worrier. It's what I do. So, like the possibility that something might go south there is just something I'm always going to be like what ifing in my head the whole time until I finally figure out what's actually happening. So here I am stressing about that. But the thing is, yeah, I might just buy the car off my parents, save up maybe like $5,000, and then if she's serious about it, then we need to get her car paid off because she's still at the point of like making payments on her car, and they're like $200 every other week or some shit. Like it's crazy. So we get her car paid off. Her credit is kind of trashed, unfortunately. Long fucking story. Mine, I'm sitting at about 750, my credit score, so I'm not doing too bad. I have a little bit of credit card debt to pay off. I have like not even, it's probably about 40% credit usage. Like my credit line is somewhere just under 3,000 basically, and I've got not quite 1,000 that I need to pay off, and then I'll be done with that. Which I'll be right back. Yeah, usually when I'm working, I keep it at least below 20% credit usage, but usually I don't have anything on either of my cards. Um, one of my cards I just don't even use anymore. But um, yeah, I just have so much on the one card now because I've been out of a job for like a couple months. So I still need to get gas and groceries and shit. And also, I have bought like some ammo and shit because I got this as an impulse buy at my last job. Um, you know, one of those things where I didn't have anything on my credit card, so I bought that. It was like a few $100 on my card, and I got that paid off pretty quick, and then I lost the job. So fun times. I wasn't really saving up at that job because like my ex had been telling me, and we broke up not long before I got that job. And so I was thinking, like, I'm single now. I don't have a future with her anymore. Like, we're done, whatever. So I'm just gonna be me and like do my own thing for like a year or two, and then I'll get back into dating. And like, I really wanted to move out before I would start dating again because like, you know, living with your parents at 27 makes you essentially have zero value on the dating market. So I was like, I'll move out again and then I'll start looking so I don't look like as much of a fucking loser and a mooch. And we'll see what happens there. Um, and yeah, so for things to go back to this point where like it's looking like we might be an item again, um, changed plans a bit. But then of course, yeah, we're to the point where we would like to move out soon, or at least I would. And that's when I lose when my contract runs up. So yeah, this whole thing has just been a fucking mess for me. And it's my own stupid fault. I even before getting that last job, even before that, I should have been more responsible about things. And frankly, all the way back into my teens, I should have been thinking more about my future. But quite honestly, all throughout high school, I was frankly kind of suicidal, and I really wanted to just kill myself before I graduated high school or like right afterwards. So I didn't really quite plan on being here at this age at all. So I didn't make any plans for a future because I didn't at the time want one. And at the moment, sometimes I still wonder. Not too seriously. Nobody needs to like get the get the fucking authorities involved or whatever. But I'm at least gonna see how things go with my ex and this new job before I decide that I'm like totally fucked. But ideally, what I would like to do, like I said, buy my car, move out, and we need to get her car paid off before we move out, and probably take it easy and just get in the groove of things for like a year or something. Like get used to being out because I've been out before, but like basically like my last girlfriend, I was in her apartment and I just made like minimum wage or whatever, so all I would do is like give her my share of the rent and she would handle all of that shit. I wasn't paying any bills. I was just giving her my share and she would do it, and all of that business. I've never owned a car either, so I don't know fuck all about like car insurance or maintenance or anything. I have like fucking 20 tabs open on YouTube right now on my computer, like basic car maintenance type shit, because I need to know. Um, so yeah, I probably just want to take a year or two to settle into actual legit adult life as like a non-mooch. I really see myself as a parasite, to be honest. Um, like I said, I wouldn't say that about anybody else in my position necessarily, unless like they chose to be there because they just can't be bothered. That's not really the situation with me. I have made some irresponsible choices, but I've also other things have happened that I'm not going to be too specific about. But uh, the 2010s were a hard decade for me. We'll put it that way. Um, so, shit. I got kind of distracted. My bad. Yeah, take it easy. for like a year or two and just figure out how shit works in the real world. And then after that, I was thinking maybe about like a trade school or something, or like a union apprenticeship, because I think like a union trade job sounds pretty good. Because like a lot of my friends that work in the trades for like a union position, like they don't have to work totally batshit fucking insane hours, like 80 hours a week or some shit. They don't have to do that. They get decent benefits, they get decent pay, etc. So like, yeah, that sounds all right to me. I've never been really one for a desk job. That's why I'm talking about like trades or whatever. I wish I was good enough with computers to do some kind of tech thing. I really do. But honestly, I'm a total fucking boomer when it comes to computers. I can't work them worth a shit. So it's really bad. So I just have no aptitude there. I would be fighting an uphill battle if I were to do some kind of tech thing. And the medical field sounds like an absolute nightmare in terms of working conditions, especially post COVID. So I'm not really thinking about that either. And then, of course, like business, I would rather just blow my brains out than go into business. um, Engineering is very math heavy. I can't do math worth of absolute fuck. Um, and then, like any like liberal arts thing is just like, why bother? You're just putting yourself in debt to go back to McDonald's. Um, I hate that it's that way. I personally feel like a lot of those fields are super important, but our economy does not view them as very important. They're not willing to pay you to do these things, to create these goods and services that a lot of people, just about everybody in society, enjoys on a day to day basis. You can't make a living doing it, anyways, which doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't seem right or fair, but that's the way it works. So, yeah, I'm thinking out of all of my options as like realistically viable choices, um, I think trades would probably be the best fit for me because like I said, I don't really like a desk job. I don't like to just sit there forever. It's hard for me to focus. That gets really fucking boring to me, and I like hands-on shit. And you guys, if you watch any of my videos about like guns and stuff, I tinker around with that shit anyways. So I'm already like, I wouldn't say I have necessarily like a mechanical aptitude, but I mean you learn some things just because firearms are essentially small machines. So, but anyways, yeah, that's the closest thing I have to a long-term goal for now is settle into this job and adult life in general, and then consider like trade school or union apprenticeship and go from there, I guess. We'll see, or maybe like a CDL. I wouldn't want to be like an over the road like long haul trucker necessarily, but like a local route or something might not be terrible. I don't know. I would definitely have a lot of trouble fitting in with that crowd though. Holy shit. Talk about like a completely different fucking subculture. Um, Anyways, hold up a second. All right. So we're going to talk about weight. I already posted the last video in the weight loss vlog series, which is kind of a misnomer now because in that last video, I mentioned that I'm doing a bulk cycle, which for those of you who are not familiar with like bodybuilders or like other, I guess, somewhat strength involved athletes, what you'll do is you have bulk cycles and cutting cycles in that when you're bulking, you eat like a shitload of food and you're lifting a lot. And the idea is to pack on muscle mass in particular, but you will also put on some body fat just inevitably. But then what happens is eventually you'll switch back to the cutting phase where you start to shed a lot of that weight. You'll lift less just because you won't be eating much food. And so, like, you can't maintain like a 4 or 5 full body workouts a week schedule if you're going to be eating like 2,000 calories. Because that's really fucking hard to do. It's hard to manage like 3 full body sessions a week on 2,000 calories, to be honest, at least for me. I'm kind of a pussy though, so your mileage may vary. But I've been I've been eating a lot. I hate to admit it, but it is what it is. I was floating around like 210, maybe a little bit above, up to like 212, 213. Um, a few weeks ago, I want to say. We'll say 2 weeks ago, that would have been where I was at. Yesterday, I weighed in 217.2 pounds. So the weight is coming on, which I figured would be the case. It's always a lot easier to gain it than it is to lose it, in my experience. Um, but yeah, just yesterday I did my fourth like heavy full body weight session. I'm talking squats, calf raises, rack pulls, bench press, overhead press, bicep curl. I've got like a bow trainer thingy. It's like resistance bands on a stick basically. I got a new set of grip trainers actually. It was this 3-pack from Ethos, I want to say. This one's the well shit, that's upside down for you. It's the my camera will focus on it. Never mind. It's the 200-pound one. It was a set of 100-pound, 150, and 200. Because my last grip strength trainer, it fucking broke this morning. It was one of the adjustable ones, and I had it set to the max resistance level, which it said was like 90 pounds or something. And yeah, I went to do my first fucking rep with it, and the spring snapped. Like at the top part where it hooks onto like the frame or whatever, the spring broke. And like the little plastic button on the end where you like twist it to adjust it, that snapped too and went flying, and there's this really loud pop, and suddenly there's no tension on the thing anymore, and I'm just looking at it like, oh fuck, what the shit just happened? Am I bleeding anywhere? Like have I caught shrapnel off this shit? Like startled the fuck out of me. But yeah, I just went out to Dick's Sporting Goods, not get your mind out of the gutter. But and I bought that 3-pack of trainers. I was worried that I was gonna have a hard time with just the 100, but I can do the 100 for reps with both hands. The 150 I can close all the way with my right hand, not quite with my left. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stick with the 100 for a week or two, then move up to the 150, and then once I can do like you know 3 sets of 5 or whatever, 5 sets of 5, who knows, um, I'll try moving up to the 200. And if I can't quite close it all the way on day one, that's okay. I think you can train partial reps with these grip trainers. Um, I'll just have to look more into it and make sure that I'm like following a decent program. But anyways, my other lists I have noticed have gone up. Like when I started this whole bulking thing, for example, overhead press, I was only doing 95 pounds. I'm up to 100, and not only that, but like I was doing 95 pounds for 3 sets of 3 was the most I could manage. Yesterday, I did 100 for 5 sets of 3. So, that's gone up. My squat has gone up. My deadlift has gone up. Trying to think about anything else. That's the most noticeable thing. I'm already at the max weight on my bow trainer, aside from like there's a much smaller, much heavier like red band on it that's supposed to like emulate the take up of like the first half of a compound bow's draw, like before the pulleys let off on it. I haven't started using that yet, but all the other 3 bands on it, I'm already using those. So I haven't really taken that leap yet because that's quite an adjustment to make. It would seem my grip strength has gone up, but yeah, I've gained at least 5 pounds. Um, it's hard not to freak out about that, to be honest, because quite frankly, I'm almost to the point of being like kind of eating disordered, to be honest. Um, I just don't have a very healthy relationship with food because before all of this, before I even started losing weight, of course, I was like kind of a binge eater. And sometimes I still am. Like there'll be days where it's like, oh, I'm gonna have a cheat day, and then I eat like fucking 6,000 calories or some crazy shit. Um, so there's that, but then there's also like, if I had my way, I wouldn't look muscular. I also wouldn't be fat. I would be like pretty thin if I had my way, maybe more than I ought to be. But that's just, that's just what I've always wanted, I guess, because it's like so far from what I've always been. Um, grass is greener on the other side and all that shit. Um, so yeah, gaining weight, especially on purpose, is a change of pace for me. But I keep telling myself like I chose this. I'm doing it to get some strength and maybe a little more muscle mass. And then what I'm thinking is when I start this new job, it sounds like it's going to be fairly exhausting. It's a legit factory position. Um, so it might be a little strenuous. We'll see. But I'll probably, once that starts, is when I'll probably switch back to the cutting phase, which I've only been bulking for like a week plus. So yeah, usually you would do it for a month or more, um, maybe several months. But I did it pretty quickly because I figured I would have no problem eating a lot. And yeah, I've been lifting, 4 or 5 fucking full body workouts a week. So yeah, I'm hoping that I actually have put on some mass. And I do know that I've gained some strength. So the challenge is just going to be going back into that caloric restriction and retraining my appetite all over again and my habits and everything, because I've pretty much totally slid back into like the way I was before I started losing weight at all, which is not good because I'm really out of control when I'm not like struggling super hard to keep things reasonable. um so I think part of the problem is just that I've fallen off the wagon with meal prep a lot, to be honest. I'm doing okay now. Like I made a bunch of roasted vegetables yesterday and I already had some chicken breasts cooked up in a batch of like seasoned shredded chicken breasts that I made. So I just had to like chop a bunch of fresh vegetables and then also chop and then roast some other vegetables and portion out some rice that I had made. That was it, but I've just been so fucking depressed lately because I've been so worried about not getting this job. Like that has just really fucked my whole mindset for like a couple of weeks. Just thinking like, oh shit, I might not get this job. Like, what am I gonna do if I don't? All these other places I applied to, I never heard back from. Blah blah blah. So I've just been freaking the fuck out, to be honest, and like feeling like my life is like coming up onto its end, frankly, which I know sounds insane to say at the age of 27, but like, God, in the position I'm in, like, can you blame me? I don't know. Maybe those of you who are like a fair bit older than me probably think I sound like a fucking crazy pants right now, but I don't know. I feel like it's a common thing for my generation. Um, anyways, I figured I would do something a little different, and hopefully I don't like reveal anything too embarrassing about my room here. But we're gonna, and I just figured I would show you like the full shot of my body or whatever. This is apparently what I look like at 217 ish. Um, I know it's not the best lighting, but trust me, if I turned on my overhead light, it would actually be worse. Let's see. Trying to like rein in this hoodie a bit so that you can actually see the shape of my body better. But yeah, as you can see, I've still got like chicken legs that I don't like. I wish I could gain more like lower body mass without necessarily getting bigger up top. But anyways, that's that. We're going back over here. I don't suppose I really have anything else to share. I just, I was thrilled that I'm gonna get that job. It's a huge fucking relief for me. And I also figured I would update about like how the bulking thing is going. Um, it's going very quickly, and maybe, well, we'll see if I've put in the work like I feel like I have. Then I should hopefully be seeing some results, and I need to be brutally honest with myself and follow my rules, my own advice when it comes time to do the cutting phase of this whole cycle. Um, and as long as I'm totally transparent with myself, I'm not bullshitting myself, I'm not cheating on my diet, and I'm actually like practicing what I preach, then hopefully, yeah, I should be able to cut back down and come out of this leaner and meaner and whatever kind of hype bullshit I want to say. But yeah, for now, I figure I've rambled on enough, wasted enough of your time. Uh, Yay me for employment. But I'll see you next time.